I can't do it. Happy Friday, bitches, and welcome back to Drinking by Myself. My name is Emma, and today I am playing Balancing the Books, my least favourite game in the history of the world, which you guys seem to love because you're all sadists. Because here's the thing. Who cares about having loads of books in your TBR? Isn't that a nice thing? It's like having a little library, but also I don't want it. I want to just have the books that I buy and then I can read. I hate it. Booktube is ruining my life. If any of you are new here and are very confused by what's going on, Balancing the Books is this stupid game I invented because I wanted to get my TBR down, where every month I count up all the books that came onto my TBR and all the books that went off my TBR and try and make them equal so my TBR doesn't keep growing. And then I decided to make it even harder for myself because I'm an idiot, so I said that every month I had to go down -5 in ideas to get my TBR all the way down to like just one little shelf, so that when I buy books I'm going to read them within the same year, within the same century would be good. But I feel like I am coming to the end of how long I can do this game for. I'm going to need some serious motivation in the comments, please, if you want me to keep doing this. Anyway, by the end of last month, I ended with 37 books on my TBR. It was supposed to be 35, but I was feeling really cheaty and I kept 2, so it was 37. But I did promise I would then catch up with myself. So by the end of this month, I have to have 30 books on my TBR, apparently. Lol, that's never gonna happen. So starting from 37, let's go through all the books that I hauled this month. Sorry, I keep burping inside. I've drunk a lot of beer so far, filming these last few videos. First one's a nice little freebie. I bought Little by Lost by Marghanita Lasky from the Persephone Bookshop, which is one of the most gorgeous bookshops in the world, really. But it's okay, because I already read this one in the past. I'm just materialist and I wanted to own it because it's lovely. So that is no extra points on my TBR. Then I hauled these 3 books. I brought them home from work. These are the next 3 in the Invisible Library series. I brought the first one home last month and then I brought the rest of the set. But I did read, it's going to get confusing, I'm doing this out of order, but let's put them all together, even though I hauled this one last month. I read the first 2. So that's 2 down. That brings me to 38. I didn't read these 2 yet, so get off my dick balancing the books. Then I hauled a digital galley of A Spark of Light by Jodi Picoult because, you know, people like her, but I didn't read it. No surprises there. So it's still sitting there, ruining my life. Oh, somehow I have a crumb inside my tights. How's that even possible? Oh, how do I get it out? I can't. It just lives there now. How did I get a crumb inside my tights? No wonder my life is such a mess. Another book that I hauled from the office was The Stranger Upstairs by Melanie Urabe. This is a thriller about a woman whose husband has been missing and then he comes home, she gets the call that he's coming home, but he arrives and she's like, that's not my husband. And I did read it, so that's good. I didn't particularly identify with the main character of this, but it was a fun holiday thriller read. A book that I got sent is Not Quite Not White by Sharmila Sen. I haven't read this one yet, but it looks great, really excited. Also it's yellow and I love yellow books. A book that I haven't got with me because I lent it to my friend is The Complete Mouse, which is a graphic novel by Art Spiegelman about his father's experience of surviving the Holocaust. And it is absolutely incredible. I did already read it. It's so good, but it is so upsetting. It's really, really distressing. I did have to keep, like, taking breaks from reading it because it's just so horrifying. I feel like, you know, it's one of those things that we know it was terrible, we learned it at school, we know how horrible it is, but you almost, it's like self-protection, your brain just shuts down how terrible it was. But when you're reading, like, an individual story of surviving it, it's just unimaginably horrible. But I really recommend the book. It was really good, and it was also just about his relationship with his father, so it was very personal and very moving and just great. A book that I bought on my Kindle was The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield, but I already read it. That one, and I'd already read it in the past actually. I bought it for a reread. Katie from Books and Things hosted this read along of The 13th Tale because it's one of her favourite books, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the experience of being part of the read along and like seeing the comments everyone was putting. It's just a really fun mystery book about a woman who is contacted by this like famous but mysterious writer to write her biography, kind of like Evelyn Hugo, and then it's just uncovering the mystery of this woman's life, and it's great stuff. And then really I should have stopped there, but right towards the end of the month I just went wild and bought 4 more books. I went to Mr. B's bookshop in Bath, which is my new favourite bookshop ever, and did the reading spa there, which is so such a cool experience, and I actually filmed the whole experience for Book Break, so look out for it. That video will go up in November, so you can see there what the full experience was. But basically, you get this like one-on-one session with a bookseller, and they ask you all about your favourite types of books, the particular things you like, the particular things that you don't like, genres that you return to all the time. It's like really great chat, and they seem to understand you so well. The guy I had, Nick, he's Mr. B of the bookshop, and he was just so great to talk to about books, because these are just people who completely share your passion, and they're passionate about getting the right books to the right readers. So he was really, really listening and understanding everything that I liked about books. It was great. And then they go off and choose you this like massive stack of books to recommend you, talk you through each one, and then you can choose which ones you actually want to buy. I honestly could have bought every single book that he recommended me. They were all like perfectly suited to my taste. And so I took a picture of the whole stack, and I'm going to go back and buy more. But for now, I bought these 4. There's actually a 5th one that I'm going to get, but I'm going to get it from the office because it's a Pam Millen one. And these are all books that I hadn't heard of before, which is what's so fun about it. You like discover books that you never would have heard of before. So I got Hummingbirds, which is about these 2 young people living in this very isolated community by a lake in Canada. I got The Unseen, which is about a family living on this island, and it's kind of about the daughter of the island, and will she ever change her future from what's kind of set out for her by what the family have always done. I got The Well by Catherine Chanter, which is about this couple who buy a farm, again in a small community. I just love those. And there's been this drought for ages, there's been no rain, but this couple have this very verdant farm, which turns all of the other people in the community, they're the outsiders anyway, and it turns them further against them, and all these tensions rise, and it sounds really sinister. And then this one, so Mr. B's actually have their own imprint, so when they have books that they really, really love and they're passionate about talking about and wanting to put into the hands of readers, but they find they're out of print, they publish them themselves, which is really cool. So this is The Next Step in the Dance by Tim Gautreaux, and it's about this couple living in a small town. Again, you got it, I love those. In America, and they're like the glamour couple of the town, but it's this very like non-glamorous town. And again, it's the wife has these ambitions to kind of go somewhere and get out of the town and do something else, and the husband does not at all, and kind of where they'll go from there. So I just couldn't resist getting all of those, even though I was already stressing out about how many books I would have to get rid of balancing books. Priorities, just always buy more books. So now let's look at which other books I read this month I haven't already mentioned. The 2 that I cheated on in last month's Balancing the Books video that I was supposed to give away were these 2, The Couple Next Door and Mislaid. So I read The Couple Next Door by Shara Lupina, and I did actually really enjoy it. I'm glad I kept it. It was silly, everyone had said that it was a bit ridiculous, and it was, but it was just really fun. It's the kind of thriller that like, it's not life-changing, it's not particularly clever, like the Claire Mackintosh thrillers that I really like, but it's very, very readable and very enjoyable. And then I started reading Mislaid by Nell Zink, and I was enjoying it at the beginning, but I started enjoying it less and less as I went along, and I kind of just suddenly got to the point halfway through where I was like, just have no interest in continuing to read this book, so I'm not going to. So I'm DNFing that one. And then finally, I read Night Film by Marisha Pessl, which I've wanted to read for ages, and I buddy read this one with Jade from Boho Bookworm, and I loved it. It was great. It was super, super creepy. It's about this guy who's investigating the death of this girl, Ashley, who is the daughter of this very famous and mysterious and dark filmmaker. And it's one of those fun ones where it's like part supernatural, but there's also kind of like rational explanations for each supernatural thing, so you're kind of left deciding what you think is going on, whether or not it is supernatural. And it was super scary and super gripping, and I loved it. Really, really loved it. So that's it. So that means that I now have 41 books on my TBR, and I'm supposed to have 30. Lord help me. So I'm supposed to get rid of 11 books. 11 books. Last month I couldn't even get rid of 2 because I was too indecisive, and now I'm supposed to get rid of 11 of my beautiful books. Here's the thing. This is me always making excuses for myself. Some of the books I've added to my TBR are books that I've taken home from work, and I kind of feel like maybe the ones that I take home from work I shouldn't add to this game. I know I feel like the last few times I do this I've always like been making concessions, but I feel like when I'm given a book that I'm supposed to read for work, it shouldn't be counted towards this, because that means I might have to get rid of a book that I bought in exchange for a book that I have to read, you know? Just hypothetically. Let's just look hypothetically. It would literally be 2 books. Can we say that? Can we say that? Please, I think that's only fair. These 2 books, The Rest of the Invisible Library, I have to read these for a book break episode. I don't think they should count my balancing the books. So say we got rid of those. Just hypothetically, put a pin in that. Say we got rid of those. I would still have to get rid of 9 books. And I don't want to. Because, you know, the point of this game wasn't to get rid of the books. The point of this game was to get rid of books that I don't want. And now I want all of my books. But I also want to have less books. So I'm just forever in a spiral I could sit here forever talking and never get anything done. Let's go look at the books. But I don't want to. I just had a brilliant beyond brilliant idea. It's really good. I really think this is really good. There was a game that I invented way before I invented balancing the books. It was Trash My TBR. And now loads of people do this. I keep seeing it over BookTube. You guys are loving this game. And I didn't even think of it, even though I invented that game. That's what we should do. I should get you guys to Trash My TBR. Can you help me get rid of 9 books? Or even 11 books, depending on what we think. I'm out of breath. If I was being like really, really strict, I threw off a ton of books onto the bed. I don't want to get rid of these books, necessarily. But I want your opinions on them. This is gonna be so good. Okay, I didn't really mean to throw this one. I want this one. I only threw this one because I never read fantasy, particularly YA fantasy. It's just not my genre. But I really want to read this one because it's Tomi Adeyemi. So this one is going back on the shelf. You don't trash this one. This one stays with me. Okay, Rivers of London. You could trash this one. So this one, you know, my friend recommended to me. It sounds really fun. It's like a magical world in London. Because I never read magical worlds, but I wanted one because I thought it'd be fun. And this one, she said, was kind of Harry Potter-esque in that it's like in the London that we know, but like underneath the London that we know. That sounds fun. Or does it? Does it not? Tell me, is it bad? I know that Jean doesn't like it, so that's a point against it. Tell me more. Patrick Melrose. I really enjoyed Volume 1. I thought it was great. But I keep not wanting to pick up Volume 2 because Volume 1 was, you know, a very hard read. But this one's the one that won the prizes. So this is the one that I should read. Or should I? Social Creature. Any of you read this one? Apparently it's like Talented Mr. Ripley. And, you know, I already read the Talented Mr. Ripley. Do I need to read it again? I don't know. It's so shiny, though. Trash it. This one's difficult because my sister read it and she didn't really like it, so I'd be happy to just not read it. But here's the thing, I don't want to get rid of this book because I went to the author's talk at the Isle of Wight Literary Festival, and and she wrote me a little message and she signed it, and that was nice. Can I keep the book because it's signed and just keep it in like a collector's shelf somewhere but not read it? I don't know. What do signed books do? Tell me about that. Okay, what do Christmas books do? Because this is one that like I'm only ever going to read at Christmas. And I don't think it's going to be like amazing. I just think it's going to be fun. I want to keep it for like a fun Christmas cozy read. But is it worth it? You tell me, you trash it. What about The Man Who Didn't Call? Also called Ghosted. Is that one good? I think it looks really fun. I really want to read it. But, you know, trash it. What about Nutshell by Ian McEwan? I was really excited for this one. I remember even before it came out I was excited, and then I bought it and I never read it. Oh, it's red on the inside, but who cares? Is it terrible? Trash it. And then this one, this is called Give Me Your Hand. I've never read any Megan Abbott, but everyone loves her. Is this where I should start? Is this what I should read? Trash it. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. Okay, I am leaving this all in your capable hands. And also, this may be the last time that I ever do balancing the books, because quite literally, fuck this shit. It's too much for me. It's too much for one poor reader to take. So, leave me comments below, letting me know which of these books you think I will hate. Which of these are not worth the space on my TBR shelf, and I will get rid of them. Maybe. I'm not promising anything at this point, but I will consider getting rid of them, and that is good enough for me, so it better be good enough for you. Cool, 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 cool. This is my most popular video series, and I just don't want to do it anymore. So give this video a thumbs up, or probably a thumbs down, because I failed at this game, and also subscribe for new videos every Friday, even if they're not balancing the books. I promise I'll make up something even better. I actually have lots of ideas for new games that I can do once balancing the books is over. So I will keep making fun games, I promise, even if they're not this one. So subscribe! Don't unsubscribe from me. I will still be fun, and I will see you next time. Bye!